What's up, YouTube? It's the Console Samurai from Grown Ups Gaming, and I saw a debate online today about whether or not emulation should be legal. And I'm referring to emulation of video games and ROMs, old consoles, things like that. And actually, I kind of think this is a very interesting debate. I actually got into this conversation just a couple days ago. And as I said, I do think it's an interesting subject because it's kind of a gray area. There are laws that say that, or there are no laws that say you cannot have an emulator or a ROM, but there's also no information that explains under what situations are you allowed to have them. So it's kind of we're not allowed to, or we're not. It's not against the law to have it, but we don't know when we're allowed to have it. Now Nintendo says you're not allowed to have it, period, because even even though you own the original copy, owning the second copy, even if it's just an emulated copy, is a second copy. You stole that copy, is their opinion. And that is what most people feel, is that if you own the original copy, you own the original game, you're allowed to own the ROM version of it because it serves as a backup. And as I said, Nintendo disagrees. Nintendo also says that playing a Nintendo game on any hardware that is not Nintendo constitutes piracy, which I think might be a little bit of the extreme. But as I said, there's no real information as to whether or not we're allowed to do this. You know, people just try to figure out whether they're allowed to, and sometimes they come up with their own rules that are self-serving. Um, but it does make sense in certain situations. If you look at old Nintendo games, Nintendo has been around for what, 30 years now, more. If you look at old Nintendo games, they're incredibly difficult to find. You know, as well as older PlayStation games and Sega games and all them. But if you want to go out and you want to play a game that's actually difficult to find, such as Earthbound, which was a Super Nintendo game, it was a very good game, but if you were to try to go out and buy it from a flea market or eBay or anywhere, because you can't get it in a retail establishment anymore, if you were to go out and try to buy that game, just the cartridge alone is actually $300 to $400. And a new complete in box, which unless you're a collector is not really necessary, is $1,200 to $1,300. Now that's a lot of money for a game that you may not be looking to spend that kind of money on a game you haven't played. So in a situation like that, yeah, emulation makes sense because the games are difficult to find. It's not a situation of people are pirating the PS4, Xbox One, Wii U games and emulating those. Well, they are, but the vast majority of people are not. The vast majority of people are emulating older games, games that are difficult or impossible to find. And I will admit, I have downloaded my fair share of emulated games, mostly because they're games that I never got the chance to get a hold of. Either because I never got a chance to play them when they first came out and now they are gone, they can't be found, or there were games that were never released here in the West. You know, excuse me. There are a lot of games that were released only in Japan that I really wanted to play. So I found a translated version of the game in ROM form, downloaded it and played it, and actually found I really enjoyed it. Now, in a situation like that, that's a different situation. That's not a situation that could be really resolved by just going out and buying the game. But but tell me what you think in the comments down below. Do you think emulation should be legal? Do you think emulation is theft? It is piracy. It should be illegal across the board. Do you think that there are situations it should be legal? If so, let me know what they are. Once again, I am the Console Samurai, and I'll see you around.